morning, everyone. I'm Student Council President Sam Carty, alongside Senior Class President Pam Stratton. Yesterday, we watched The Blind Side, a story demonstrating how the kindness of an individual can change a person's life.
Next, we are going to take a look at the real Michael Orr and the Toohey family. When we come back, we're going to see how each of us here at Hamilton can do our part to make a difference.
Welcome to this special edition of 2020. In this season of giving and new beginnings, what could be better than a story that embodies both of those positive forces? A story so powerful it became the hit movie, The Blind Side. It unfolds around rising football star Michael Orr, a once shy Tennessee teenager whose super size and big talent helped bridge the gap between poverty and privilege, between black and white, between failure and success.
Michael Orr.
If you like fairy tale moments, Sandra Bullock's hit film The Blind Side has no shortage of them. It tells the unlikely success story of 23-year-old Michael Orr, a rookie tackle who's making his mark with the Baltimore Ravens. He's number 74, blocking on the offensive line. One of the most promising additions to the Ravens, Michael's childhood fantasy is now a reality.
I would have dreams all the time about me playing in the NFL. Every day I woke up, I said to myself, I'm gonna work hard this day to get to that next level.
If Michael's incredible journey from poverty to NFL fame weren't true, you'd never believe it.
Shall we say grace?
His is the story of amazing twists of fate and the ultimate gift of love from the Toohey family in Memphis, Tennessee.
Do you look at him and think of him as your son?
He thinks I birthed him. It's gotten to the point where I think I birthed him. He takes great offense if people don't think that he's, a part of the family.
He was Michael and I was Collins, and we went about our everyday life, and he was my brother, and that was that. I mean, I cannot imagine life without Michael.
Sean Jr. and Collins, they act like I was a part of the family, so they welcomed me with, open arms.
Michael Orr came into the Tooheys' lives as a teenage kid, falling through the cracks on the mean streets of North Memphis. It was just a short distance from the Tooheys' life of privilege, but for Michael, it was a world away. Like other young black men from his neighborhood, Michael, one of 12 kids, was from a broken home.
I never really had a father figure in my life. We were basically always by ourselves, growing up, and I took care of myself most of the time.
And what about your mom?
She wasn't really around too much, probably, never, so.
Michael could have been headed for a life on the streets, consumed by drugs and gangs, living in an aptly named housing project, Hurt Village.
You had robberies, murders, burglaries.
Jimmy Chambers is a gangs investigator for Shelby County, Tennessee.
Kids had to make it, you had to survive.
At 15 years old, Michael was a massive figure, 6'2", 350 pounds, making him an ideal recruit as a bodyguard for any one of the many neighborhood gangs.
You could have easily slipped into that world and...
I think about it all the time. I don't have any idea why didn't I want to, do it.
I thought he was going to be Michael Jordan.
Fortunately, he met Tony Henderson, who runs an athletic program that mentors teens in the neighborhood.
And what was he like as a kid?
Well, he was a good kid. He wasn't no trouble kid, nothing like that. He was real quiet, and basically stayed to himself.
His home life was unstable, so Tony took Michael in. Michael had been to 11 schools in 9 years, often cutting class. One year, he was absent 51 days at Westwood High, and his grades were a disaster. By freshman year, his grade point average was .06.
He was just barely hanging on.
Hanging on, yeah. And he basically kind of doing what he wanted to do,
It was easy for me to say, I'm going to hang out with, with these guys and, do drugs and not go to school, but I decided I didn't want to do it. I wanted to, be something in life.
And a major turning point was about to make that happen. In 2002, Tony took his teenage son to be enrolled in Briarcrest Christian School, but he also took along the boy he was struggling to help, Michael Orr. In the film, the coaches were quickly amazed that this super-sized kid could move like a dancer on the basketball court and suspected he would be something special on the football field, too.
He won Mr. Football for the state of Tennessee. And
So fate had brought Michael to Briarcrest, where Sean and Leanne Toohey's 2 children already attended school.
Did the kids know him at all or know of him?
You couldn't miss Michael.
Like Michael, Collins Toohey was 15. She was a cheerleader and a straight-A student.
And obviously I noticed him, and I said, hey, and he said, hey, and we hit it off right away.
Michael's coaches soon realized he didn't have a place to call home, so he began staying with several families from the school, including the Tooheys. Sean was a college basketball star and now a wealthy businessman.
And then he'd stay every once in a while, then he'd leave, and then he seemed more comfortable to stay.
I remember I came home one day from practice, and he's sitting in the living room, and I walked, hey Dad, there's a huge black guy on the couch. I don't know if you realize that.
Michael and Leanne began to form an unlikely bond. She, a petite, no-nonsense Southern belle, he, a withdrawn, gentle giant.
Finally, I said, why don't you just stay? And he said, that's what I'd like to do.
And what were you thinking was going to happen, that you were just going to help this kid out?
I just think Michael needed somebody, and it was so evident that there was nobody in his life, and to me, it just broke my heart. And very quickly, I just fell in love with him.
Hey!
Whoa!
What?
Like in the film, Michael settled in and became part of the family.
Why are we eating in here?
He made us sit around the dinner table. If we were going to spend time with him, we'd come eat at the table. We haven't eaten at the table since he left.
You're this white woman from one side of Memphis. Michael's a black kid from the other side of town. Were you conscious of that, though, when you're meeting this kid and you're beginning to befriend him? I mean, had you done anything like this before?
It had nothing to do with what color Michael was or how big he was. He was a child that had a need, and it needed to be filled.
Michael, come on down here and get in the next one.
By the time Christmas rolled around, Michael was even included in the family holiday card.
Let's scooch in a little tighter.
And like in the movie, Leanne says her cousin called with a question.
And he said, I'm not trying to be rude or anything. Who's the black boy in the Christmas card, you know? And, we just didn't think about it.
Opening their home and hearts to a stranger. It was something Michael had rarely experienced.
You said it took a year before he really gave you a big hug or a serious hug?
Well, I hugged him a lot. I'm real touchy-feely. I go to each child's room every night and kiss them goodnight and hug them. And I did that just to Michael like I did the other two. And it was just kind of not much of a response for a long time. And then finally, one night, it was just this random, I said, night, honey, love you, see you in the morning. And I got a, love you too. And I went outside the door and I was like, wow. I said, we have moved mountains.
The story of Michael Orr in The Blind Side and Maurice from An Invisible Thread are just 2 examples of how the kindness of one person can impact the life of another. Now it's our turn here at Hamilton. What can we do, Pam?
First, it's time to reboot HHS Kudos on Twitter. This was a big success last year and nearly 300 of you followed it. If you don't know what it is, it's a place where we can all give a positive shout to someone for reasons big or small. Those tweets will start flying again soon, so be sure to follow HHS Kudos.
Second, with the holidays approaching, we can all make a positive impact on someone's life by giving instead of receiving. School-wide, we will be collecting donations for a local organization that supports battered women and children. They are specifically asking for pajamas or a holiday movie. So, beginning tomorrow and ending on Monday, you can bring in one of those items to make the holidays a little better for someone you don't even know.
Finally, your teachers are going to talk to you about a way we can brighten the hallways of Hamilton High School during the holidays.
And remember, each of us has the power to positively impact the life of others. We will end with a quote from Michael Orr in his autobiography. He said, "Take a look at yourself. You're a unique person, created for a specific purpose. Your story matters, your dreams matter. Your gifts matter, you matter." Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.